So, Allie, tell me a little bit about what you do. We see you on TV. You're amazing on the show. Tell me a little bit about what you do and how you got started on the show.
Well, I am actually a deckhand. Even though on the show I was working in the interior, that was actually my first time in the interior. So I work as a dive master during our summer season in Australia. And then during the winter, because we're in cold water, so that's our low season. So during the winter, I'll work as a deckhand on boats, and I just work on small yachts. So this is actually my first time in the interior and my first time on a super yacht.
Oh, wow. What was that change like?
You know what? I'm always up for a challenge. So I sort of took it in my stride, but the one thing that I really struggled with was being inside all the time. I'm such an outdoorsy person. I'm such a nature person, and I was in the laundry room a lot, just because of the way that the day was run, because I was on early. So I was often in the laundry room in the afternoons. And that was like when the guests were out in the water, when they're snorkeling. And I'm a dive master. All I want to be is in the water with them. But it just didn't really work out that way for me.
Nice. And then you were on the show Below Deck. Tell me how that came about.
So I was actually found on Instagram. I have a diving Instagram page, and yeah, I'm not sure how they even came across me. And I was considered for a few seasons. So I was sort of passed on through multiple seasons. I think the first one was Below Deck Med, but that would have been 2 seasons ago. So I was kind of being passed on for a while. And then eventually when it came to sailing, that I was considered for the first season, and they said, have you worked on a sailing yacht? And I said, no, I only work on motor yachts. And they were like, nah. And then, yeah, the next season 2 rolls around, and it kind of all just fell into place. But I'm so grateful that it did fall into place the way it did, because I have had the most amazing experience with the best crew ever. So, and I'm really glad I got to work for Captain Glenn. I adore Glenn. I really enjoyed working to him.
And what would you say was the biggest challenge about being on the show?
The biggest challenge was definitely being in the bubble. Because of COVID, we had a very strong bubble that we had to stick to, and that meant that we were kind of on top of each other all the time. So we weren't really able to go off the boat very often. If we were separated from any crowds. So we weren't we were only being stimulated by each other. And working with your crew and living with your crew is already a challenge in itself. But then partying with them, having your downtime with them, if there's an argument happening, then that's going to roll over into our downtime, into our nights off. And I think it definitely meant that we had a lot more drama than I think some other seasons.
And what would you say was your favorite part about being on the show?
My favorite part, other than experiencing a sailing yacht for the first time, because that was really exciting for me. Being on a motor yacht, it's such a totally different experience, and I never had the appreciation for sailing that I do now. But my favorite part was definitely the friendships that I made. I'm so close with Natasha. We're like soul sisters. We really connected. And Daisy, she was definitely my closest confidant during the season. And Danny and we talk all the time. Danny's in Australia now too. So we talk pretty much every day. And these are friendships that I'm going to have for life, because no one's had quite the experience that we have. No one's able to understand exactly what we've all gone through except each other.
True. Yeah, I've heard that a lot on reality shows, that people, if they were on it together, they bond for life because nobody else really understands. You get home.
It's crazy. Even with production. I mean, production a family now as well. So it's just, it's a crazy experience. It's been really interesting being on that side. I watch reality TV and I already watched Below Deck. So experiencing it from that side has been a real trip.
What other reality shows do you watch?
I'm watching Summer House at the moment. I love Summer House. I'm totally invested in that show. What else do I watch? I watch a few Housewives. I love Real Housewives of New York. Ramona and Sonia are like the most elite characters that I've ever seen on TV. I love them.
Yeah, they're really good. I watch all of them pretty much. So
it's a guilty pleasure. I would love to have some of the housewives as guests on Below Deck. That would be really cool.
all right, we're putting this into the universe right now because it has to happen. I would love
Has to happen.
Yes, I would like one from each franchise to see how they go up against each other.
I know, that would be wild. That would be absolute chaos. I'd love that.
Yeah, like take Kyle from Beverly Hills and bring back maybe Brandy or Cameron from Dallas and just see them.
Oh yes. Yes.
Oh gosh. We got to pitch this to Bravo. I love it.
$1 million idea.
Yes. Now, would you do another season of Below Deck if you were asked to come back?
Yeah, I actually would. To be honest, my biggest fear when doing Below Deck was the aftermath, because the experience I was really excited for. But then when the show starts airing, that was something that I feel like I didn't apply for the show. So it's not like I wanted fame. It was just, I went in with a totally different mindset. I went in because I wanted a crazy experience. And now that the show is airing, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. So I would do another season for sure. I mean, it's early days. I might have spoke too soon.
No, we love you on the show. So you're doing great.
You.
We would love to see you back. No,
thank you.
No, since you're a Housewives fan, if you were a Real Housewife, what would your tagline be?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. What would my tagline be? It'd be something, I've got to think of something a little bit more witty, but it'd be something about sticking me in the laundry room and I'm only going to want to go outside.
I like that. That's cute. And what's next for you now that the show is airing?
So at the moment, I'm working on a private yacht in the Whitsundays in Australia. So I'm back home. It's because of COVID, the way things are in Australia when it comes to travel, it's really hard to leave. And actually, no, for seafarers, it's not as hard to leave, but it's really hard to come back in the country. So I'm just going to stick to the Australian islands at the moment. And I love the boat that I'm working on now. So, you know, I'm in paradise every day. It's just like a postcard that I wake up to every morning. So I'm more than content with what I'm doing. And then I'll be back diving again next summer.
Nice. Now tell me a little bit about your diving. Do you do that professionally? Do you do it for competing? How does that work?
So I work as a dive master during the summer season. And that is basically what a dive master does. Is I'm more of a dive guide, so it's a little bit more fun than an instructor. But if I am on course, I assist the instructor, and if any students are having anxieties or having problems, then I'll kind of take them one-on-one. And at my work, I do get a lot of opportunity to do a lot of diving, like electives. So, you know, I can do wreck diving, I can do, we've got a trip coming up, which is for an ice diving and altitude diving specialty. So that's pretty cool. I'm actually not on that trip. My boss is, but I definitely want to get on the next one. I think that ice diving, as terrifying as it would be to dive under the ice, it would be like otherworldly. So yeah, with diving, there's so many different directions you can go with it. So it's a really exciting industry to be in. I love it.
Nice. And when you dive, are you able to be one of those people that are able to take pictures underwater and stuff, or?
Oh my God, underwater photography is not my thing. I don't have the eye. I mean, I also wear glasses, and my mask isn't prescription. So when it comes to finding tiny little macros, I'm just not your girl, which is kind of a bit of a downside because I'm supposed to be guiding people and pointing things out. But yeah, underwater photography, there's so many talented people out there, so I feel a bit intimidated to compete with them.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know they made the prescription dive things. That makes sense, though. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, they're expensive, especially if you've got a bit of a niche prescription, which mine is. They are quite expensive, but I mean, it's an investment. Like, it's on my list. It's on my shopping list.
No, it makes sense, especially because the contact lenses, get infected and burning after when being in the water. So having that's really smart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely, and you don't really, a lot of people don't actually realize that you can do that as well. So it's a good purchase, definitely.
Yeah, well, now everybody knows. I was 8 years old when I
Yes.
found out. So
You heard it here first.
Yes. And one thing I like to ask people I interview is, tell me a fun fact about yourself.
A fun fact about me. I grew up on a farm. So I, even though I'm a water person now, I was not born this way. I mean, fundamentally on the inside, I was born a water person. But yeah, I grew up on a little farm. At my mum and dad's place, they have 20 acres of land, and we have a lot of animals that I've rescued over the years. So there's 2 steers, there's many cats, many cats. There's dogs. We used to have a little sheep that got left behind from his flock, which is like so sad. But he's been rehomed. He's got a new flock now. But yeah, that was a totally different way of growing up. And it's kind of cool because I've got that ocean life, but I have really strong roots on land as well.
Incredible. Now, did you learn how to milk cows and get eggs from chickens and stuff like that too?
We did live on a dairy farm years and years ago, but we had a farmer that did all the milking of the cows. And I'm vegan now, so I actually don't I don't even have cow's milk, so I wouldn't milk a cow now. But we had chooks. We used to get the eggs from the chooks. My pop actually had a chook that was, when my pop passed away, the chook passed away 2 weeks later, and he was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
Oh, she.
Sad. I'm sorry for your losses.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's definitely always sad, but it's sad when animals kind of follow their owners. It's always interesting when you see situations like that.
Yeah, it's almost like their heart's so broken they can't live with their owner.
I know. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. But let's talk about something happier. I don't want to think about people and animals dying. So
I know.
Since we're a TV site, what are you watching on TV these days?
Sorry, say that again.
I said, what are you watching on TV these days?
I'm watching Summer House. That's probably the only show that I'm into. Oh, actually, you know what? I've started rewatching the original Beverly Hills 90210. So I'm loving it. I tried to rewatch it years ago, but because there's so many episodes, I never got to the end where, they wrap up all their storylines. So that's my goal. I think it's going to take me a while because there's, I think, 10 seasons. But I'm so invested in their lives. I feel like they're my friends. I'm like, everything that Brenda does and Brandon does, I'm like telling my friends, they're like, all right, just relax. You need to get a life.
We can text watch together. I don't mind because nobody I know watches it.
Thank you. I need a friend to discuss this with so I don't look crazy.
I do that too. And it's so weird watching now that Luke Perry has passed away. It's so weird watching.
Oh, I know. I forgot. I actually forgot. And I was Googling last night when I was watching an episode, and I was like, oh my God, Luke Perry. That's crazy. From a stroke at some early age.
He was like 50, I think.
Crazy. Really sad.
Yeah. But it was an eye-opener because it makes us want to take care of our health as well. It's like,
absolutely.
Be that young, anyone could.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that I definitely value a lot is when you're young and you sort of neglect your nutrition, you eat what you want, and now that's something I put a lot of energy into in my life in general. I'm always really wary of what I'm putting into my body. And I've started to get a lot more wary when it comes to plastics, like using plastic containers. I've been doing a bit of research on that. So it's all those things. I mean, anything that you can come up with anything and someone will say, oh, that causes cancer, that causes this type of disease. But when you sort of just at least be a little bit mindful about it, it kind of, I don't know, I can feel a difference in my body and my energy.
Absolutely. Same here. And where can we find you on social media so all your fans can follow you?
So my Instagram is Ali por favor. And then I've also got my diving page, which is tagged on my Instagram. So that's my personal one. That one's a bit more exciting, probably. It's probably got more juice on it. And then I've actually just joined Twitter because Twitter's not that big in Australia. So my Twitter handle is door_Ali.
Perfect. We'll send you a follow. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.
Likewise. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.